The White House, Washington, D.C., August 18th. A handshake that could reshape the war. Donald Trump and Volodymyr Zelensky meet again, this time not in tension, but in hope. Yet behind the smiles lies a question shaking capitals across the world. Will American troops be sent into Ukraine? Trump isn't ruling it out. From Alaska, talks with Putin, to high-stakes negotiations in Washington, this could be the moment that defines peace or prolongs war. US President Donald Trump's refusal to rule out sending American troops into Ukraine to enforce a possible peace deal has injected fresh uncertainty into the White House's latest push to end the war. Trump declined to rule out the possibility of deploying American troops to enforce a peace deal between Russia and Ukraine, saying he would consult European leaders on the US role in any future settlement during meetings at the White House. Appearing alongside Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky in the Oval Office, Trump said both Europe and the United States would share responsibility for safeguarding a post-war peace in Ukraine. But he stopped short of assuring reporters that US forces would not be placed on the ground to uphold the agreement.
Your team has talked about security guarantees. Could that involve US troops? Would you rule that out in the future?
We'll let you know that maybe later today. We're meeting with 7 great leaders of great countries also, and we'll be talking about that. They'll all be involved, but there'll be a lot of help. When it comes to security, there's going to be a lot of help. It's going to be good. They are first line of defense because they're there. They're Europe, but we're going to help them out also. We'll be involved.
This apparent openness represents a marked shift for Trump, who campaigned on promises to keep US troops out of foreign entanglements. Several in his own administration have urged a far more limited American role in Ukraine. To be clear, Trump did not commit to deploying forces. But the fact he didn't strike it off the table underscores how the White House is reassessing options in pursuit of an elusive settlement. The stakes were highlighted by Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, who reiterated that his country needs sweeping guarantees if it is to consider a deal.
We need to stop this war, to stop Russia, and we need support American and European partners. And we will do our best for this. I think we show that we are strong people, and we supported the idea of the United States, personally of President Trump, to stop this war, to make a diplomatic way of finishing this war. And we are ready for trilateral, as President said. This is a good signal about trilateral. I think this is very good.
Trump also confirmed he would phone Russian President Vladimir Putin following the Washington talks and suggested a trilateral summit involving himself, Putin, and Zelensky could follow.
We're going to have a meeting. I think if everything works out well today, we'll have a trilat. And I think there will be a reasonable chance of ending the war when we do that.
And, is this the end of the road for American support for Ukraine? Is today's meeting deal or no deal?
I can never say that. It's never the end of the road. People are being killed, and we want to stop that. So I would not say it's the end of the road. No, I think we have a good chance of doing it. And I know the president, I know myself, and I believe Vladimir Putin wants to see it ended.
Earlier in the day, President Donald Trump urged Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky to abandon hopes of reclaiming Crimea or joining NATO. Trump wrote on Truth Social Sunday night, adding there was no getting back Crimea and no going into NATO by Ukraine.
President Zelensky of Ukraine can end the war with Russia almost immediately, if he wants to, or he can continue to fight. Remember how it started. No getting back Obama giving Crimea 12 years ago, without a shot being fired, and no going into NATO by Ukraine. Some things never change.
Ukraine's NATO ambitions have long been a central friction point with Moscow. At the alliance's annual summit in June, Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orbán, an ally of Russian President Vladimir Putin, declared,
"NATO has no business in Ukraine. Ukraine is not a member of NATO. My job is to keep it as it is."
NATO has reiterated that Ukraine remains a partner, not a member, and therefore is not covered by the alliance's Collective Defence Pact. On its website, NATO stresses that it condemns in the strongest possible terms Russia's brutal and unprovoked war of aggression against Ukraine.